guys, we're back. What's cracking? Greetings, folks. Cody here with OnTheTrail. Here we are again. We're giving you some raw on-the-trail footage at Twin Buttes. We've got the AssClowns with us. The AssClowns being the group we were with the last time we were here. That's what we call ourselves, I guess. Excuse me. So this being called the first 5, the reason being for that is it's the first 5 miles of the 15-mile loop, and you'll see later that there's a little split where 5 miles goes one way and then 15 miles goes the other way. And yeah, so you can see we're going through the cactus-filled, rocky, brushy, sandy desert, and we said we were going to go slow through the first 5, and usually when they say that, and I'm following, I'm usually going pretty much as fast as I can go, and that seems to work. So they put me out in front, and I just did exactly that, and I figured that would suffice for them. So we got some plugs for some of the upcoming stuff at Hidden Falls. Actually, no, real quick, I'm gonna talk about the terrain. So you can see the first 5 here is as far as technical, it's not super technical with any kind of crazy obstacles, but it's just a tight, windy, twisty trail that's been well worn into. So there's nice sort of berms that have been ridden up, and you'll also see that you can get some tricky stuff if you follow the hard lines. You'll see that there's signs posted with green and red arrows, red meaning hard or difficult, so you can follow those if you want the more challenging trails, and that's pretty cool. But overall it's pretty fun. It's good for, I would say, not complete beginners, but if you know how to ride a bike or a motorcycle, this is a good place to start. Good place to build your skills. And if you've been riding for a while, then it's a good place to just rip around and race and have some fun too, because it's still challenging enough to challenge yourself on. So if you'll notice, I just kind of hit the gas and the bike sort of wheelied like a banshee into the brush a little bit. And it seems a little uncharacteristic of a WR250F, and that's because it is. So in case you haven't noticed, I'm actually on a YZ250FX, which is an incredible bike. This thing is, it's wicked fast. It's probably the fastest 250 I've ridden, and the thing handles really well too. Despite the suspension being pretty decent, I adjusted it just today. One of the AssClowns, Bubba, who you'll watch crash later, who has helped me out with my suspension adjustments, and holy moly, the front, it made a little bit of a difference, but the big difference was in the rear. The amount of traction that was gained through adjusting the rear, high speed and low speed adjustments, was incredible. Whereas the front, we kind of adjusted, and I think the rebound was too slow, and it kind of had a sort of washy, pushing characteristic. So we didn't technically really adjust that too much, but overall it's a very excellent handling bike. And the power characteristics, if you can get used to the sort of the snappiness off idle, which is due to the EFI system, if you can get past that and kind of learn to control that, it's an amazingly versatile bike with the power. It's not too hot and heavy where you got to manage yourself on the bike and you're kind of just hanging on for dear life. And it's also not underpowered where you're like, wow, I really need an extra 10 horsepower, you know. So like I was going to say, we've got coming up, we've got a ride that I did. It was a solo mission out to Silverton, Texas at Lake McKenzie ATV trails. And that'll be coming out soon. It's going to be probably embarrassing. I hadn't rode in 3 weeks due to rain delays. I pretty much went up there and rode every trail I had no business being on and had my ass handed to me on a silver plate. A little bit. I mean, you'll see. It's going to be a lot of learning moments, pretty entertaining. The ride was extremely scenic, so it was pretty awesome in general. And I can't wait to show you guys that. I got some editing to do. That'll be up soon. Hopefully we'll be making it out to Texana Ranch. We'll be going out to Hidden Falls on the 20th. And I am scoping out Permian Basin too. I want to get out there. I'm not sure if you guys can tell the difference, but I also, since I lost my other camera, I'm also using a GoPro Hero 3 now. Hero 3 Black. So a little bit of an upgrade in camera. I don't know if you guys can tell. I haven't actually compared the footage back to back, but I gotta say I'm really pleased with the way the footage has been turning out. Especially this ride, it looks really good. I like the angle, I like the colors. I'm very satisfied. The only thing that's lacking, in my opinion, is just sort of the audio. I'd like to get the audio a little bit more realistic sounding. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that yet.
Which way?
So now watching that section that I just came through, it leads me to believe that I need to soften something up. I think maybe my fork was starting to pack or something, because you can notice things got a little dicey going into that, and looking at it from the camera and reviewing it, it didn't look that crazy, but it looked like it was enough of a bumpy section where it started to pack my forks down and it got tough to control, and I think that's what happened there. I'm not really sure. And let's take a brief break while Bubba gets up. And we're back. So that brief little break, we were kind of hanging out and making fun of Bubba, and I just cooled down. I'm pretty tired from yesterday and earlier today riding, and man, I had a tough time getting back on the trail. You see me kind of getting frustrated with having the tough time getting the bike to settle down into some ruts and corners. But the show must go on. other thing too that's absolutely awesome is the last few weeks it's been, I said it was raining, and it also cooled down, which was like double-edged sword. It's cool now, you know, contrary to being 103 like it had been, but it had been raining, which just sucked. I didn't want to go out in a complete mud fest. But the fall temperatures are still here, so it's only upper 70s, maybe low 80s. So the weather's been so much nicer to ride in versus before, where I had to show up at 7:30 and it was already 80 degrees out, and you had to kind of get your ride in before the weather went full-blown heat stroke on you. And also the morning dew is really helpful during this time of season. After we've had the rain and a little bit more humid weather, the dew point has been coming up, and or however that works. The dew in the morning really helps keep the trail a little bit stickier, and it keeps the dust down as well. So you'll see in this, contrary to the other video I put up of Twin Buttes, it's definitely a little bit less dusty. I can actually ride behind a guy and I can still see.
God damn, dude.
I don't know if you guys have ever had that, but you can see like right there, I just, you know, I'm coming up to these corners and I don't know what the deal is. I can't get the bike to turn in. Sometimes you have that, I don't know. And there's that split that I was talking about. Those two signs where one's the 15 mile and the other one's the 5, and it's going to kind of basically cut you to the ending section of the 15-mile loop, and you basically skip it all, and it takes you back to the parking area. So this is all of this, I believe you've pretty much seen on the other video. So you can, I guess if you want, you can continue to watch out. You can watch the rest of this. There's some cool jumps. But I'm going to go ahead and close the commentary out. Okay, guys. Peace.